Hi all, welcome back to Look Movie Recaps. Today I will be recapping a movie called John Doe Vigilante. Watch out and take care. The movie opens with serial killer John Doe, who is known as Anonymous on the day of his trial. He is asked to meet journalist Ken Rutherford in a private pre-trial session. His request is approved, and Ken walks in, thanking him for choosing him and asking why he chose him specifically. John tells him he chose him because of his history and reputation. Ken asks him if he is the serial killer who caused all these crimes. He tells him that the court will answer this question shortly before the trial. A video recording of John's first murder arrives on the news. In the video, John brutally murders retired priest Peter. Ken asks the broadcaster why she published the crime video without explaining the real reason that made John commit the crime. She told him that these were orders from the government. Ken tells John that he was wrong when he sent the crime videos to the press. He was expecting the full videos to be published. After that, Ken goes to meet Bobby, who is the director of the only YouTube channel that has published videos via Sam. He asked him why he had posted all the videos despite the government's warnings that not all of the videos would be published. Bobby tells him that the matter is financial, because he got a lot of money when he published videos of the first two crimes. He shows him the video in which the priest was killed. We see John opening the door of the house with the spare key. When he enters, he finds Peter sitting with a little girl and teaching her to play the piano. John asks the little girl to leave, only to find out that Peter has been molesting her. Peter asked him to leave his house, but he attacked him and took him to his private office room, and showed him pictures of the children he molested. He told him that he knew his truth and killed him. We watch Sam Foley tell people that Peter deserves what happened to him, and he tells them that he sympathizes with John. And he exists to protect people from people like Peter. When Ken asked John why he chose Sam Foley to post the videos, he told him that everyone refused because they were afraid of the government. Therefore, he was forced to resort to Sam Foley because the internet is the only means through which videos can be published without deleting anything. Ken tells him that there are rumors that Sam Foley was an accomplice, but he denies it. He tells him the people he killed deserve to die. And he did what the government couldn't do. Then he remembers when he was working in a government job and his friend Becky came to him to sign some papers for her. He talked to her and tried to advise her to separate from her husband because he was hitting her repeatedly. But she told him that she couldn't because if she divorced him, she wouldn't be able to spend on her daughter. He offered to help her, but she refused and she told him that her husband would keep looking for them until he found them. He promised her that he would act if this thing happened. On the same day he goes in front of her house. He watches her husband beat her. When her husband came out of the house, he attacked him and killed him. The next day, news spreads about the continuation of crimes in the city without knowing the criminal. After that, John was stopped by the police because he was driving fast. The policeman asked him to give his license, but when he pulled his jacket, his special mask, which he was wearing during the crime, appeared and the policeman noticed it. He thought he would be arrested, but he was surprised that the policeman returned his driver's license and asked him not to speed up. We discovered that the policeman did this because he supports the criminal in what he does. When Ken goes to the policeman and asks him why he didn't arrest John, he is surprised that the policeman denies seeing John and asks him to leave. Ken decides to speak with the officer in charge of John's case, who asks him about the reason for the delay in arresting John. The officer told him that according to the law, they need evidence to arrest him. And from his point of view, he left him because he was achieving justice that the police could not achieve. Then he reveals the truth about people who were respected by society, such as Reverend Peter. Ken tells John that many people don't believe he is the serial killer, but he assures him that he is the real killer. We watched Sam Foley on the news telling people about the new news of the serial killer, as the killer had killed 5 psychopaths and child rapists who had been imprisoned. But when they got out, they repeated their crimes. So John got rid of them. He then meets up with a young man named Murray who founded a group called Speak for the Dead to support John. He tells him that they are going to stage a vigil in front of Parliament to support John, and tell him that he has people who support his cause. One day, news spreads of the killing of a teenager by 2 guards working in a casino, and they were filmed by surveillance cameras as they beat him. On the day of the trial, people are surprised that the guards were acquitted, despite the clear evidence. The victim's father was angry and crying because justice was not served for the death of his son. The officer shows Ken a video of John injecting a guard with a dose of poison without him noticing. This is the 21st crime for him. And he killed the guard without wearing a mask. But he was undercover from the cameras and they could not identify him. The officer tells him that they have searched all the cameras around the place, but they didn't find anything. He tells him that he does not need to justify any killing he has committed because the people he killed would be willing to repeat their crimes and nothing can stop them except death. He told him that this is his way of changing the world and that the world is better now without these criminals. The news spreads that the number of victims of the killer has reached 25 and people are campaigning against the government due to their inability to catch the killer. Sam Foley talks about the campaign run by Murray. Murray tells people that they support the serial killer and he encourages them to do what John does. Murray's group begins to commit crimes similar to John's. Ken accuses John of being the one running this group and claims that Murray and his group are out of control because of him. John tells him that Murray is his greatest achievement. One day a video arrives at all news channels from a person claiming to be the serial killer and offering the Australian government to stop the killings in exchange for $10 million. However, the police can arrest this person and discover that he is impersonating the serial killer. Ken meets Sam Foley and asks him why he didn't publish the story of the person who impersonated the serial killer, even though he covered all the news about the killer. But Sam tells him that he knows the video is of a fake person and assures him that the government knew the person was not the serial killer. However, they spread the news to tarnish his image in front of his supporters. Ken tells him that many people believe he is cooperating with John, but he mocks these words, and explains that he supports John because John is the only person who has been able to achieve justice from the criminals. Then Ken shows John a video of a victim's mother crying over her son. Ken asks him how he feels after seeing the victim's mother. And John tells him that he is sad about that. Over time, the crimes of the Speak for the Dead group increase. Murray is arrested and tells the press that the accusations against him are false, and there is no evidence to support them. Ken discovers through a government official that the membership of this group has reached 1 million people. And if the government judges John harshly, these people will create chaos within the country. Then papers signed by his supporters proving that John was out of the country at the time of the crimes are shown, and only the last crime condemns him because his face was visible in the video. Despite the signatures from supporters, John admitted that he was the one who committed all these crimes. Then this government official tells Ken that they will try to deceive the court by portraying John as crazy. They plan to tell the judge that he is attempting to imitate a serial killer in order to control the anger of the supporters. John talks to Ken about his last murder, the victim being a man named Adam McLeish. This is the only crime that John decided to broadcast live. When Adam wakes up, he tries to explain to John that he did nothing wrong. But John shows him a carton of hair belonging to Adam's victims. He confronts him about his crimes, but Adam denies it. He tells him that he will be lenient with him if he confesses to his crimes, but he continues to deny and tells him that he bought this hair from someone who was with him in prison. John gets angry and hits him, taking off his mask. Adam discovers that John is the father of one of the girls he assaulted. He shows him a video of his daughter and wife and tells him that he is the reason for destroying his family. Then he gives him 5 minutes to convince him not to kill him. Adam talks about himself and tells him that he lived a difficult childhood that affected his psyche and made him addicted to drugs, and that he was unjustly imprisoned on charges of car theft. Then he was assaulted by the prisoners. Then he learned to steal and he was crying. He told him that he regretted what he had done. But John gets angry and points his weapon at him. Then Adam starts to provoke John and tells him that he remembers his daughter, and that she is the most fun person with her. Which angered John a lot. And killed him. Then he brings a piece of paper with their address and puts it on Adam's chest for the police to come and arrest him. The news of the serial killer's arrest spreads, and he has been charged with the murder of 33 victims. He admits to Ken that he intended to kill Adam from the beginning, but wanted to make him think he would forgive him. Then Ken gives the signal to the guard to bring in the girl that John had rescued from the priest. Her father thanks John, because he is the only one who saved his daughter, before they leave. The girl hugs John. Ken tells John that he is just a psychopath who enjoys killing his victims and that he is not doing justice, as he claims. But he replies to him and tells him that he succeeded in achieving justice and that no one will remain silent about the assault crimes. He talks to the people who watch him and asks them not to be silent about the injustice they are exposed to. He tells them that they can achieve justice as he did because the criminals must feel that they are being watched and that there is someone to take revenge on them. He assures them that his turn is over and that theirs is now. Then he takes out poisonous pills and swallows them. The guards and Ken tried to stop him, but he choked Ken and told him that he had chosen him to kill him. He actually kills Ken in court. He admits that he chose Ken to kill him because Ken is an aggressor and kills children. And he posted videos of him hitting a child. The court panel issues its verdict on John when the deputy of the court comes out to announce the verdict in front of the people. Shortly, an explosion occurs and a group of Speak for the Dead arrives and they smuggle John. We discover that Murray is responsible for the bombings that occurred and that the story of the serial killer is not over yet. The movie comes to an end. If you want to watch more of these videos, subscribe, like and comment. Have a great day.